In this week's message for IRONMAN Tulsa 2020, we're going to be talking about when you should get to Tulsa to get ready for the race, be prepared, soak it up, do whatever you need to. We're going to start off by talking about you spend hundreds and hundreds of hours, thousands of miles biking, running, swimming, and training. Why not take one extra day, if at all possible, if you can get the time off and travel works out and everything? I highly recommend getting as many days as possible. Tulsa is going to be on a Sunday, so usually they don't let you check in the day before. They have been making exceptions for a few races, so you may be able to check in Saturday. Check-in for sure is Thursday and Friday. Thursday's the first day, Friday's the second day. I highly recommend getting in Thursday early enough to do check-in on that first day, because Friday gets a little hectic, the lines get a little bit longer, time gets a little bit less, you're standing around more. But I highly recommend, if at all possible, try to maybe even get in the Wednesday before. That way you get up, you can do a little training run, a little training ride, wherever you need to. You got time on your side, you can take it easy, take advantage of being relaxed, show up, a little bit after registration first opens up, or check-in first opens up, because there might be a line if you try to get there right as it opens up. But you just breeze in, fill out all your stuff, get all your stuff, walk through Ironman Village. There's no crowds to mess with. You can find out what you want. It's just much easier and less stressful the earlier you can get there. And Tulsa, isn't much above sea level, so there's no real acclimation. If you're flying in, I like to see at least a day, 2 or 3 days before. So flying gets you a little bit dehydrated, a little bit, works the immune system a little bit disorientating. So I like to see people get in a few days before to get acclimated away from the plane flight. But minimum get in 3 days, Thursday night at the latest, so that way you're there Friday, you don't have to worry about travel and making the cutoff time for packet pickup and all that other stuff if they don't have it on Saturday. So I'd hate to see people get stressed out. They're planning there to get there Friday, get their car, get whatever, and head over and try to check in before the last minute. Don't be rushed. Like I said, you spend all this time training. Don't make or break your race day because you planned your arrival a little bit too tight. So I recommend 3 days before, early enough to get check-in on the first day. Like I said, check in on Thursday. Try to get there early enough. Leave yourself plenty of time, get checked in Thursday. Even if it's a few hours before check-in closes, just get there, walk around Ironman Village, get checked in, get your gear, tour the village, make mental notes of what you want to come back for maybe the next day. And on Thursday, check out the Ironman Village, what they have on sale for the event gear, because the good stuff will go quick. Friday, the good stuff is going to be gone by the end of closure on that day. So if you were thinking, I'll just come back Saturday and get it, the hats, the stuff that people want that's cool, if you think it's cool, everybody else does, is going to be gone because they don't have just endless amounts of supplies. They can't reprint more or make more hats. So make sure that you're there, you pick out the gear you want, and get it then. And then make a mental note of maybe some stuff you want later. But after check-in, then you can go get your groceries, you get your bearings, your lodging squared away, make sure there's no problems, because, I'd hate to see somebody get an Airbnb and then there's just issues of it got canceled the last minute and you're scrambling. You don't want to be dealing with that like Friday, especially at the last minute, trying to do packet pickup and then trying to find some place to stay. At least Thursday, I said, if you're up a little bit late trying to get everything kind of squared away, 3 days before allows any changes due to surprising lodging and transportation. You have to go find another rental car or something crazy, and that would be just stress you don't need to you want a few days of in between that kind of stress in the race day, especially when you're supposed to rest and be prepared. You don't want to be shocking the immune system by having to run out with your head cut off 1 day before the event. So getting there 3 days before just kind of allows a little bit of cushion if something comes up, and it usually does. So you always want to be ready for any kind of surprises. 2 days before, hit the athlete briefing. So that's like a Friday for Ironman Tulsa. Pick an athlete briefing to go to, listen to the whole thing. I'm part of the Ironman certified coach team, so I'll be there. So after the athlete briefings, I have little breakout sessions. You can talk to the Ironman certified coaches about the event, about any tips or tricks that we got. Soak it up at Ironman Village, walk around, anything you saw you wanted to come back and hit Thursday. Friday's a good time, early as possible. So try to soak it up and just walk around and be in the ambiance. I would imagine, May 31st, around that time period, it's not going to be sweltering hot. But if it is really hot, I wouldn't spend too much time lingering around and sweating your butt off. But soak it up, walk around, see what's there, see what the vendors are there. Try out the Rapid Reboot tent, compression boots, any other kind of stuff. Sometimes they got some interesting stuff hanging around Ironman Village, but now's the opportunity to just kind of go walk around and kind of soak it all in. It's also the time, if you notice, if you get in Thursday night and you're like, oh, my CO2, if you fly, you can't take your CO2, you can go Ironman Village and pick it up, or there's plenty of bike shops in Tulsa. Replace any missing gear. If you need nutrition, you need hydration, stuff you couldn't take on the plane, Friday's the time to get it. Go pick out your store, or if you need specialty stuff, Ironman Village usually partners with a bike shop and they bring all their stuff there so you can buy it on site. You don't have to mess with going out and finding someplace. But, Google Maps is the best invention ever. So Friday's the day to be doing your running around, going and stocking up all your stuff you're going to need for your race. I also recommend Friday maybe kind of getting all your stuff laid out, especially for your gear bags. And if you need videos of that and how that works, just let me know. I can always give you links to that. I've done plenty of videos on that. So Friday, make sure you got everything lined out. I would maybe earlier in the day kind of lay out all your bag and stuff. Make sure that you're not missing any gear. Saturday, you still got time. Ironman Village will still be open. You can go back and get stuff. But you don't want to be running around too much the day before a full Ironman event because you just don't want to be worn out for a race day. So I would definitely recommend picking up all your stuff 2 days before Friday. That way you don't have to worry about check-in, you don't have to worry about anything else. You can take it easy, go out for lunch, figure out where you want to go, meet all your people, do all that fun stuff. Wait the day before on Saturday. I always tell people, get a short little run in the morning, just something a little brisk, 2 to 3 miles, nothing killer. Don't go out and set a 5K record or anything. So then just take it easy, shower, have breakfast, have a good day, get your coffee in. Maybe do a little course recon, maybe opportunity to go and kind of go drive around, drive up to the lake, see what the roads are like, and that type of thing. If you're not from the area, you could go kind of, maybe if you have the opportunity to go run on the run course on the river trail, it's a great opportunity. There's plenty of places to park and go over and run on the trails. It's all paved. There's nothing too crazy about it. So do a little course recon. Get all your transition bags ready. So your gear bags for T1 and T2, you're going to need to drop those off with your bike the day before the race. So get all that stuff ready. Get your bike squared away. Stickers on your bikes. Everything you need to do to your bike, do it before you load up and head over to drop off your stuff. So get your bags ready. And remember, you have access to everything on race morning. So get as much as you think you need in there. And then be prepared. In my videos, I put all my stuff in Ziploc baggies just in case it rains or something, or it's raining or it rains overnight, so it doesn't all get all wet and mushy and stuff. But you can have access to it race day morning. But get all that stuff squared away before you go over there, because you don't want to be in a parking lot back of your car, especially if it's hot or something like that, if it's raining, or you don't want to be there when you try to take your bike in transition. They stop you because you don't have your stickers on, you don't have your stuff on. So make sure you read through all the instructions Friday or Saturday morning, get everything squared away before you go in over to checkout. Or check in your bike and gear bag drop off. Make sure you give yourself enough time to make it to bike drop off. And Tulsa is a little bit different because you're going to be dropping it off at T2 and they will transfer it up to T1. So give yourself plenty of time on race day morning to get up there to check everything and make sure it's all there and all squared away. So if you got to replace anything in your bags, because you're not going to be able to place them there, you're going to have to rely on the staff to put them in the right places, so you're going to take a little bit more time to find your bags and stuff. It's all in numerical order, but just plan on a little bit more time, especially you have to get a bus ride up there from T2. They'll bus you all up to the swim start. But give yourself a little bit of time. I like to drop it off hour and a half before bike drop-off closes. That way, if it's raining, if it's hot, if there's anything going on, your bike is spending as less amount of time in the elements as possible. If you have the chance and the opportunity to drop it off later, don't cut it to 20 minutes or 30 minutes. If you have to, you have to, but I wouldn't drop it off first thing personally. That way, most other people have been dropping their stuff off, so you can put your bike in your rack. Everybody else is already there, or like I said, they're going to transport all the bikes. So the less time it spends out of your hands and you know what's going on with it, the better. So I kind of plan that later in the day to drop off my bike. But after that, you've got everything, make sure you've laid out all the stuff you're going to have to take in your morning bag, and anything you want to take back to your gear bags in the morning. Make sure you've laid out all your stuff. And go to dinner. Don't go overboard, carb loading and feeling horrible the next day because you ate too much. Get all that squared away, so about 7 or 8 o'clock, you're ready to relax. Maybe you watch a movie, you're hanging out with your friends, you're just sitting in your hotel room, relaxing in bed, under the covers, staying nice and warm. Don't freeze yourself, don't get too hot, don't get too worn out. So hopefully by 7 or 8 o'clock, you're relaxing. Not necessarily going to bed. You're not going to sleep well the night before anyway. So if you go to bed early, you're just going to screw yourself up. So, go to bed at a normal, decent bedtime, but by 7 or 8 o'clock, hopefully you are wherever you're going to be at, and you're done walking around, you're sitting on your rear end, and you're relaxing. So that's kind of my tip for when to get to the venue, when to get to Tulsa, and kind of what you should be doing in that time frame. Like I said, I like to see 3 solid days. So you got your last day of main check-in, and then you got the day before the race. So you got 2 full days. You get there the night before those 2 full days. So you have plenty of opportunities. If something comes up, something goes wrong, something gets out of whack, you've got plenty of cushion. If you're planning on flying in Thursday morning and some reason it gets delayed or something like that, you'll get in Thursday night till after check-in, you still have all day Friday to go do your check-in, get all your gear, all your stuff. If your luggage gets lost and you're flying in Thursday, hopefully you got time Friday to go get it, got all your stuff. If not, you've got time to go get new gear, whatever you got to. That's my tips. I highly recommend do not cutting it to the last day. Don't try to plan on getting there Friday right before check-in closes, an hour, 30 minutes or something like that. My plane lands, I gotta get my car, gotta get over there to check in, because the last thing you want to be doing is sweating whether or not they're going to let you get your stuff if you're a couple minutes late. Usually they'll try to work something out, but there is no guarantees because the rules are the rules. And if you're not there, then I would hate to see all this training go for naught. But that's my recommendations. If you got any other questions, let me know, reply back, and I'll be happy to give you my thoughts.